crafty friends, it's Jess from jesscrafts.com, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about my stamp storage, and I'm going to try doing this video live instead of with the voiceover, so we'll see how it goes. I want to show you how I store my stamps. I take them out of their original packaging and put them in Ziploc bags. I like this better because eventually the pulling and unpulling of the original packaging, I tend to rip them. So I just like to have it in a bag that's just a little bit more durable, and these Ziploc bags do a great job. I found these on Etsy, and I'll put a link to the Etsy seller in the product description below. So I'm just showing you today my Newton's Nook stamps, but I'll show you a little bit more about how I store my stamps overall. After I put them with their backing sheet, so take the backing sheet out of the original paper and the stamps themselves, put them both in the bag, and that way when I want to use the stamp I can just pull out the stamp set and use them. You see a lot of my stamps are stained. That's because I don't really mind them being stained. It doesn't affect them, and so I'm not afraid to use any kind of ink on them. So after I place them in these bags, which are pretty much the perfect size for the average stamp set, although with some of the smaller stamps it's a little bit big for them, but it still does the job, so I don't worry about that. I take all of the stamps that are similar and I place them in a makeup bag. I like to have portable storage because I bring my stamps to my sister's house, my mom's house, and other places to stamp, and so I don't want them all in plastic buckets. That doesn't help me. I like to have them in bags. I have a lot of Vera bags. They are expensive and impractical, but I already collect her stuff. I love it, and it makes my craft room pretty because they do sit in a bucket on my craft desk so you can see all these bags. And so I sort them and I place them inside the bag by their company. So all my Newton's Nooks are together in the same bag, and so when I know when I want a Newton's Nook stamp, that I just need to find this color bag, this pattern of the bag. I also like them because they're lined. They're meant for makeup, and so if your makeup spilled, then you wouldn't have to worry about it because they could clean them up easily. All of your Bradley stuff is washable, so all of it can be sent right through the wash. So that way if there's any ink on my stamps or if I'm inky when I'm touching the bag, I don't have to worry about it. I want to show you some of the other ways that I store the stamps though, or some of the other containers I use. I group stamps by categories when I don't have a whole bunch by the same people, or the same company. And so here's a different pattern of Vera Bradley bag, and I know inside this pattern I have all my Averyelle, Mama Elephant, paper smooches, and so because I associate the pattern with companies, it helps me. But there are some companies that get their own pattern. I love Lawn Fawn. If you've watched my videos, you know I use a lot of Lawn Fawn, and so I actually have 2 bags of the same pattern with all of my Lawn Fawn stamps in them. So I sort them by critters. All my critter stamps are in this bag, and smaller sets. So I know if I want one of the small sets or if I want a critter stamp, I can head to this bag. But if I want a different Lawn Fawn set, I have the same bag with the other ones. One more way that I store stamps, one more kind of stamp that I have a lot of background stamps. These are all my background stamps. I do the same thing in terms of putting them in Ziplocs, but with background stamps, I put them in large quart-size Ziploc brand bags. I don't get these off of Etsy like the other ones. I just get these at my local grocery store. And you could store your other stamps in these bigger bags because they will fit, but they're so much wider. I prefer the skinnier ones. And so I just take them out of their original packaging again, place them in the Ziplocs. I make sure to keep the backing paper so that way when they're in my drawer here, I can kind of flip through them and see what they are without taking them out completely. And then this drawer, which is like the perfect size because it's 6 inches wide and 6 inches tall, and most of my background stamps are 6 by 6 or smaller. They fit in there nicely, and then they go right next to where I stamp, and actually even where I record video, so I can easily pull them in and out. And so those are my two ways of storing stamps. I store background stamps, and then I store my regular clear stamp sets. I don't have a lot of rubber stamps with the block stamps. When I do, they just decorate my room. For example, these two. This I found at a library sale. I love it because I love Where the Wild Things Are, and this is something that I picked up on a recent trip to London. I just use them for decorative purposes, and so you can see them just around my room.
I hope that was helpful, especially to others who like to keep their supplies portable like I do. There you can see my basket with all of my stamp bags inside of it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more crafty videos or videos where I talk about my scrap storage. You can check out my scrap room at my blog at blog.justcrafts.com, and I hope to see you again.